cold feet. Ooh, put some socks on because we're gonna turn this heater off. But it's cold in here. We came with notes today. Let's get into it. When you hear the word influencer, what comes to mind? Who do you picture? Are they wealthy? Are they attractive? Are they white? It's okay if you answered yes to this question. That's what I thought an influencer was when I first heard the term sometime around 2012. Hey y'all. Yeehaw. Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Taryn and Alyssa here. On my channel we do all sorts of things from travel vlogs to DIY to hair and makeup tutorials to more chit chat style videos like the one you're watching right now and more. But beginning today, you might notice a slight shift from some of the earlier content I was making on this channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about the difference between a content creator and an influencer. Before we do that, let's take a quick little trip back in time. Before the internet, our influential people were politicians, singers, actors, musicians, celebrities, folks who were known for their talents and were loved for them, but were really private and kind of closed off and kept from the regular public eye. So part of being an influential celebrity back in the day had a lot to do with your public image and less to do with what people knew about you personally. They used to be people we would just see on the front stage. And now thanks to the internet and apps like Instagram, YouTube, and even more so TikTok, we're finally getting to see people on the backstage. And these are, quote, regular people who live lives just like the rest of us. These are not celebrities, these are not politicians, these are not people in high places with connections and powers necessarily, but these are regular everyday folks. So what's the big deal about being an influencer? The influencer industry is a booming business, growing by the millions every single year. And early on, many influencers were simply marketing tools. They were people who were going to collaborate with big name brands to sell you products. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with collaborating with brands or profiting from your work as a salesperson after building this huge platform. But for me, as I thought about what it meant to be an influencer online, that just wasn't enough for me. Initially, when I thought of the word influencer, I kind of thought of two different buckets, and both still have, I would say, negative images. Some for good reason, some because people just like to judge. But the two categories I used to think of influencers in were like the Instagram baddie, those IG models, you know who I'm talking about. They all kind of got the same look, curvaceous bodies, full lips, either white or racially ambiguous. And then there's the other side of that, which is like the perfect white picket fence, picturesque family, sell you products because I promise I tried them and they're good influencer. For a time when I first started my creator journey around 2018, I even called myself the hopeful influencer because all I had was hope. So part of me not labeling myself as an influencer had a lot to do with just the reputation that influencers had, and I kind of felt icky. Not because I think that those people are icky, but because I felt like I was gonna try to fit myself into a box that I didn't exactly fit in and didn't feel comfortable in. And as we saw in 2020 in the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, that wasn't enough for a lot of other people either. Folks were being called out for not using their platforms, folks were being called out for disingenuous statements or apologies. The picture perfect life that we kind of expected from the people we followed online just wasn't gonna cut it anymore. We kind of saw this shift in what influencer culture could look like from these picturesque, pretty feeds. And don't get me wrong, I love a pretty feed, but we wanted, followers wanted more from the people they follow. We saw that there were lots of people trying to figure out where they could find genuine connections with the people that they follow who weren't always trying to sell them something, whether it be an unrealistic image to aspire to or products that they didn't really need. And as many of us felt in 2021, folks calmed down quite a bit on using their voice to speak on social issues, and all those little black squares were slowly fading away. We also saw the rise of TikTok and another layer of influencer controversy when white creators were being invited on TV shows to do dances created by Black creators. You cannot scroll on these apps without hearing a voice or seeing a dance or a trend that was started by a Black creator. Like, all it takes is a few swipes and bing bang boom, you're there. Black influence fuels these platforms, and it is, for me as a creator, really disheartening because it doesn't always feel like there's room for me to grow, but I'm not gonna stop. One of the very first video projects I did with other people was around influential people I know in real life, because I felt like the internet was giving us such a cookie cutter version of what influence could look like. But I know educators, I know activists, I know coaches who are doing great things and making impact in other people's lives who maybe aren't getting the same kind of clout or credit just because they're not on social media platforms. And I wanted to highlight those people. Don't ask me where the video is, it fell through. I wasn't able to commit, but maybe one day. While that project didn't go through how I wanted it to, it opened my eyes to the opportunities to share people's stories. And some of the ways I try to do that is by collaborating with brands or companies that work for social good, by sharing other creators who I think deserve more shine, like the creators guides I've done for Black creators and the Women's History Month Women Crush Wednesday series I did on IG Live. And as we've seen more influencers and influencers of color make the shift to the genuine influencer category, if you will, I still don't really like that name. Something about it feels weird. But as more people make this shift, we're seeing creators working on collaborations that they really truly care about that also have an impact on the greater good. Just this past year, Dr. Fauci worked with quite a few influencers on a vaccine campaign. I know myself personally also did some campaigns around vaccination information. And so the opportunities for influencers to be sharing things outside of selling products are growing. So I say all this to say, is there a difference between influencers and content creators? Sorta. According to one of the top influencers on the web and entrepreneur, Neil Patel, in a nutshell, content creator is a broad term describing someone who produces some form of content, including but not limited to blog posts, videos, photography, and reels. Influencers can also create such content, but they're better known for their connection to their audience, i.e. the influence they have over their followers. So it's generally accepted that influencers fit under the content creator umbrella, and many content creators would consider themselves to be influencers. What really matters is the people who are using their platform to better the lives of others. And that could be in the form of simple lighthearted entertainment, but for me, it also includes using my platform to speak up on humanitarian, social, and life issues that not only affect me, but I'm sure affect other people in my following community. I believe influential people should and do live outside of social media platforms, but I also think that those folks outside are missing out on the potential to reach more folks who need to hear their message. So that's why I take my time to share influencers I love, to share about causes that are important to me, because ultimately I know that they'll bring value to anyone who sees it. So as I continue my content creator / influencer journey, I hope you'll stick along with me as we see a shift in my content once more. Who are some of your favorite creators? Drop them down below so I can give them a follow. If you enjoyed this video or feel like you learned something new, don't be afraid to give it a like or leave me a comment. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. And if you want to keep up with me on the day-to-day, you can follow me on Instagram at tarynallyssa. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.